All right, let's go with Nicole, Jeff, and then Ryan.
Over here in the back, Nicole Briscoe, ESPN. Put yourself, just if you can, in the shoes of Jimmie Johnson or Kyle Busch. It could be kind of annoying to be the guy who's done really well all day and then have somebody else come in and steal the race. What has been their reaction to you when they've seen you or they've talked to you?
Well, I don't talk to Kyle Busch, so it's just one of those things that's probably just the way it is. But, I think, after California, Jimmie was, he was he's just, he made his quote on his comment on Twitter and just about, just the move and he just moved on with it, and that's just kind of how he is, and that's probably why he does what he does. So, it's just part of it. It's just part of racing, and it's just one of those things.
We'll go to Jeff, Ryan, and David Carabello.
Jeff Gluck from SBNation.com. Kevin, with kind of a weird practice schedule this week, what are we going to see people work? Does it change what you guys work on based on the schedule, like with qualifying, not having a practice after qualifying? What we work on today, how does that change things up?
Well, there's really no good practices. Really, there's no good practice times at all for the race conditions that we're going to be in. So you have to look back at kind of where the racetrack went last year as we went into the night, from mostly racing in the day to a little bit of night, and try to base the setup of your car off of what you did there. With the way that the qualifying stuff is, the guys are they're gonna work on the car regardless of whether you're don't have any more practice or don't have any more qualifying, as long as they allow it. So for us, it's we focused mostly on our race trim stuff, and that's what we'll do today. And we'll probably start off with a couple qualifying runs tomorrow, and we'll just kind of take what we get there as far as qualifying goes, and then put those tires back on and go back into race mode. So we'll spend the majority of our time working on race stuff.
All right, let's go to Ryan and David.
Ryan McGee, ESPN. When you're off to a great start, Jeff Burton, Clint got off to a slow start, starting to pick back up. Paul's dropped back a little bit. When you're kind of the lead guy on the team in your Monday competition meetings, do you feel the other teams talking to you, or when you've been in that position where a teammate got off to a hard start, is there a lot of conversation between the guy that's hot and the other three? Well, the way that we do our competition, I only sit in the 29-team competition meeting, so they've been pretty good lately. But you look at the 31 has run well at several races, just had a ton of bad luck. The 33. Obviously, those guys have run fairly well the past couple weeks, but just talking back and forth with them on text and in general conversation at the racetrack, it's frustrating when you have cars like Clint's had. They've been off a couple weeks, and you want to get the ship righted, and they seem to have done that. And then the bad luck part is just the part that you can't shake, and the 31 is just kind of stuck with that right now, and hopefully they can shake it soon. And Paul's just got to keep doing what Paul's been doing, and just being consistent and not trying to force anything, and just keep going. So you're going to have bad luck, you're going to have some good luck, you're going to have things happen, and you just got to kind of take it as it comes and roll with it.
Go ahead, David.
David, NASCAR.com. Kevin, a lot of you guys come up, working on and building your own cars. And given how technology's changed, how much mechanical knowledge does a driver have to have nowadays to help his crew chief make the car better? Does that really not matter anymore?
It's a lot less than it used to be. A lot of the simulation programs are developed off of what you feel and have been developed for years. I know ours has. Off of what you feel in the car and the things that you like and tendencies and characteristics, and your engineers learn those types of things. And as we got going with the bump stops and the new car and all the things that came in, really everything that you knew was kind of obsolete. So it's taken. I'm kind of like a little bit slower than I used to be as far as being able to just speak up and say, I think we need to do this or that. But as we've gone through the years with the bump stops now, with the cars, feel like we have more input. The biggest thing is just to, you give the input on what's better or worse, and go off of the feel as to what you think needs to be tighter or looser, and they'll run through what does what, because it just acts so much different than what it used to.
Any other questions for Kevin? Right here, Kenny's got one. Who's got the mic? Krista? Thank you.
Kenny Bruce, Scene Daily. Kevin, do you recall any time as you were coming up when you learned that what you did the previous week meant absolutely nothing going into the next race weekend?
It's really not anything I learned as I went through late models or anything like that, but that's really just kind of a cup mentality, I guess you could say, just for the fact that there's so many guys in this garage that can win. If you want to sit and gloat on how good you did last week or how bad you did the week before, you're in trouble, because there's going to be somebody at home working harder to beat you, and there's going to be somebody at home that gets over doing bad last week, and they're going to come out and beat you this week. So it's just something that this series is so hard. It'll beat you right back down to earth really fast if you want to get up on a high horse and think you're doing pretty good, because it'll beat you down instantly, a lot of times the next week.
Okay, let's go right there to my man.
Louis Francaroides. Hey, Kevin. Carrying on Kenny's theme, back at Fontana, you said that what you learned the year before, when you didn't quite pull off the victory over Jimmie Johnson, taught you how to win that race. I mean, when did that, do you go into the racetrack with a mental notebook, or did this just say, oh my God, here we are again another year later, and I'm going to make it work this time? And how did that occur?
Well, for me, it's, sometimes it's, watching last year's races, but a lot of that stuff sticks in your mind, and California sticks out like a sore thumb, just as to what went wrong. But there's little characteristics that you run through. I mean, in my mind, I run laps in my head all week as to what the characteristics, and trying to, spring thoughts in your mind as to what happened last year, things that helped you, things that hurt you, where the bumps are, and try to have that visual in your mind before you get to the racetrack, so that when you get on the racetrack, you're ready to go. And for us as a 29 team, every Monday we talk about the characteristics from last year to this year with our cars, handling wise, things that we did in the race, things that we didn't do right, things that we did right, and try to make them fresh in your mind. So sometimes I'll have to go back and watch the race, but usually by the time I leave RCR on Monday, everything's pretty fresh, and you have a mental image in your mind of where all the bumps and cracks and crevices are in that particular racetrack.
Any further questions for Kevin? Well, Kevin, best of luck this weekend as you look to attempt to win for the first time in the Sprint Cup Series here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Thank you.
Thank you.